where do you think gold goes from here?
It depends on whether we want to talk about gold in dollars or gold in yen or gold in euros.
Let's talk in dollar
terms. In dollars, probably sideways, probably not a great good deal of excitement. If it goes anywhere, the time for being short of gold has probably passed us. The time for being long of gold is probably not yet upon us. If you made me do something in gold, I'd buy it, but you'd have to hold a gun to my head to buy it in dollar terms.
But then you'd have to be patient for it to move, is what you're saying.
I think you'd have to be very patient for it to move.
Greg, I know you claim, this is your claim, you're not burdened by a lot of insights on the movement of gold, but we know that the Fed wants to reflate the economy or at least raise inflation's expectations, and you would think that would mean higher gold prices down the road.
Yeah, but look at what they're fighting against. I mean, they wouldn't be talking about trying to reflate if they weren't worried that inflation was going too low. If to the extent that you think gold is an inflation play, it's easy to explain why it's down so much. Look at what's happened to inflation, not just the United States, where it's down around 1%, but around the world, in Europe, where the European Central Bank this morning upped their commitment to keeping rates low precisely because they're worried about inflation as low as it is. I think if you're looking at the inflation rate, you worry less about central banks reflating and worry more about their inability to do much to get it higher, given that they've basically fired every weapon at it that they already have.
You know, Greg, the time when gold really got hit in other commodities last year was right around the time that inflation expectations were collapsing. In other words, the people were suddenly going, you know what, we may have a real deflation problem presenting us. That's when we really saw gold take it on the chin. And I wonder, is it different now? Because people, if anything, are starting to think, well, maybe there will be some success in actually getting a little bit more inflation in the months or years ahead.
Well, I think what's really changed is that thought of tapering has gone from just a twinkle in the eyes of bears out there to actual reality. And the fact of the matter, and the fact that we've now got tapering in place has caused a repricing in most asset markets. The long bond has gone from 2% to 3%. Gold, as you said, is down 25%. I think it would require incremental news at the margin that the Fed was either going to unwind tapering at a faster pace or stop it altogether to change either of those realities.